There's something psychologically profound about chanting and about humming. Oh, snap! I got so many thoughts right now. Guys, this was fire! Oh my gosh, where do I begin? Where do I begin? Oh, it's like buzzing, dude. Oh, I can't even do it. Forget about it. Forget about it. This was, oh, guys, where do I start? So, they're Mongolian, and I love how they were mixing the native and the ancestry and the heritage of Mongolia in this, but then also bringing in that modern with the biker gang and all the bikes rolling up and the instrumentation. You had that strong beat, the drums carrying the beats throughout. But then you also had all these different native instruments they were bringing in. That chanting and that. There's something, speaking of psychology, there's something psychologically profound about chanting and about humming, right? It's not just lyrics and melodic elements, but also humming and buzzing and these type of things that operate on a certain frequency that have an impact emotionally and psychologically, right? It's not just always the la la la, but sometimes it can just be a really low frequency, like a buzzing, a humming, something that vibrates with your core that has an impact on your emotions and on your psyche. I feel that added to just such depth and beauty to this song, again, because they're bringing in their heritage, they're showcasing to the world. This is why I love world music, you guys. They're showcasing to the world elements of their culture that are specific to Mongolia and to that part of the earth. And it's so beautiful. But then to think that they're a Mongolian metal band, okay? I would not think that it goes together. If someone were to be like, oh, tell me what metal is. Tell me about a metal band. I would not think, oh yeah, Mongolia, right? So to marry those elements is so unique and dope to me. But then also that, like I said, that buzzing, that woo, it adds this element of chanting, of reverence and of power and force. The lyrics are a whole nother level. They were singing in Mongolian, I believe. The song is called Wolf Totem, and they're singing, let's fight the lion and the leopard, let's fight tigers and leopards, let's race against elephants and leopards. And that call and response, how he's leading and then they're responding and repeating, tagging on what he said. And then it says, if humans come, we'll fight and obliterate them. If tigers come, we'll fight and battle. If you come as a snake, will become Garuda birds and fly over you. Now, Garuda birds, let me look that up. Garuda birds are, in Hindu mythology, it's a bird like a kite or an eagle, which is interesting because in the end it almost sounded like kite-like. What he was doing with that instrument almost sounded like an eagle or like a bird. Of the god Vishnu, in the Rig Veda, the sun is compared to a bird in its flight across the sky, so something very powerful and majestic. An eagle carries the ambrosial soma plant from heaven to earth. So talking about a being of a lot of power. So basically saying, if you come as a snake, we'll be that bird that conquers and takes you up. We'll face you as lions with blue mane. I wonder if the blue mane is also referred to as, what was it? When I was reacting to the Indian metal band, Bloodywood, I was told that the reason why one of the female dancers was blue was in reference to a god. So I wonder if that's also what this is supposed to mean. That blue mane, the lion with the blue mane. And then they chant, hoo, hoo, who, right? Just powerful. If you come with evil intentions, we'll give you a fight. 10 of us will strike you as thunder. 100 of us will shatter your heart, your nerves. Thousands of us will destroy and obliterate. 10,000 will hand you the wrath of heaven. Interesting, because see, that eagle, the bird, and a comparison with the sun, bringing something from heaven to earth, right? So if you come as a snake, if you try to deceive, we're going to come with force, with power. We're going to obliterate and fight. And I think this is really cool. Now, when it comes to war and people fighting, of course, ideally, I want to avoid that. I hate war. I hate that people hurt each other. But we live in a world where there are evil people. People make bad choices. And in a culture, especially in the West, where sometimes it feels like there's been such a huge focus on toxic masculinity, which is a thing. It's possible, right, for men to behave in a toxic, unhealthy way. but because of how people tend to extremes and the pendulum swings left and right, I feel like it's gotten back to a place where in that effort to fight toxic masculinity and oppression and those kinds of things, sometimes if we're not careful, it swings to the other extreme where now we're dealing with toxic femininity and we're trying to feminize and belittle and emasculate men. So to me, there is something very powerful and awesome about this group of men coming together and fighting. And let's be honest, if my family was under attack, there's no time to sing Kumbaya. If somebody's trying to hurt my family and my children, I ain't singing Kumbaya. And if there's a group of people, a village, a town, a country, and Mongolians know of this, they're powerful, strong warriors. If we look at history, without turning this into a huge history lesson, if we look at Mongolian heritage and culture and history, we can see they are strong warriors and they know battle. And so I feel like if I was in a town or a village, let's just be realistic. That's being attacked, right? I'm trying to protect my children. We need men to stand up and fight. That goes for physical battle. Again, I hate war, but we live in a world where it's not going to always be peace and happiness. And you want people that are able to fight. And men just scientifically, physically often have a certain advantage when it comes to strength. And to me, there's something powerful about men coming together and saying, you will not come against us. We will fight you like a lion, a leopard, and a bear. We're going to become that eagle. From a physical standpoint, I think that that's empowering, right? I mean, come on, let's be realistic. Even for the females out there, it's awesome to have a group of men going, not today. But that's speaking physically, right? Something empowering about fighting, about going against what is evil and wicked, standing together, that masculine energy. That's beautiful. We cannot take away from that either. In our desire to uplift women and celebrate femininity and those beautiful things, it's also important we don't create toxic femininity. I'm giving you real talk today, y'all. It's important we don't create toxic femininity and swing to the other extreme where now being a man and being masculine and having that passion and energy is a bad thing. It's not. We need both masculine and feminine energy. And we all have elements of both, but we need men, and we need men to be strong and to rise up, like Bloodywood says, right? Put a fist in the face of a rapist. We got to stand up against evil and wickedness and what's wrong. So I dig that from a physical standpoint. From a spiritual and emotional standpoint, it's just as dope. When we're talking the people that want to create a toxic environment, that want to pull you down, when we're talking darkness or wicked things or evil things in a spiritual sense, it is awesome to think of men coming together, men and women, but in this particular case, it was a group of men, and that's okay to celebrate that too. Group of men coming together and standing against things that are dark or that want to bring destruction or that want to come in like a snake, which in many places, snakes, though they're not always supposed to be a symbol of evil, in many cultures they may be looked at, or the snake may represent an idea of something deceitful. And responding to that with, we're going to fight you. If you have evil intentions, we're going to war. We're going to fight. We're going to stand for what we believe in. The wolf is, even in the Native American culture and in various cultures, it is a very powerful animal. Even if it's looked at as a spirit animal, has a high sense of loyalty and communication. They're actually very social, family oriented, very smart creatures, and they represent things like stamina. They have a wild spirit, competitive, bold instincts, courageous. So I feel like to call this song Wolf Totem, tapping into that native heritage, tapping into the idea of a pack of men coming together, fighting against what's evil, standing together, saying, come and try us. That was empowering. That was fire. I like this. What did you think? Let me know in the comments below.